So guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Ian West Network / Ian West Network updates. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Aero Fit 2s. I already did reviews on it, full review on the channel. If you look at the description, I do have that full review for you, timestamps and all. But today we're going to talk about the AI feature. Now, I already talked about this, but Soundcore wanted a dedicated video. They did send them to me, so that's what we're going to do. Now, I don't speak any languages outside of English and maybe a little bit of Ebonics. Outside of that, we're going to translate English into different languages so you can see how accurate the AI translator is. I also do want to point out that these buds are no longer $99 right now. They actually went up to $129, and the clips that you see in my ears actually went up to $149.99. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't work for the company. I just review headphones, so I'm going to leave that at that. So with that being said, let's do some translations to see how accurate these buds actually are. The first step is go to the Soundcore application. It is a 100% free app, and no, you do not have to register for it like so many other apps, so thank God for that. You're going to see an option that says AI translation at the bottom. This is the prompt that's going to pop up, these two prompts. So I want to go over this first and kind of give you an idea of why this is so important. There are people that know how to speak languages, Spanish, Korean, many different things, and may not know how to read it. For example, I have a friend that's Korean. He grew up in America. He knows how to speak Korean, but he doesn't know how to write Korean. So this AI translator actually speaks out loud to the person if you choose to. You can turn that off if you want to, but you have the option to have it play back the words, so when they hear it, they'll be able to respond accordingly, which is a really cool thing, because sometimes people's eyes have issues or they may be blind. You never know a scenario where they can't read the translation, but you can at least still communicate with them. So anyway, for short, back and forth conversations use face-to-face translation for greater efficiency. That's the first thing. The next one is for extended one-way translation. Use real-time translation. Simplify your experience. Start seamless Start seamless translation with one tap. So you can have a full-blooded conversation with a person, and then it'll translate and read it back to them, or you can actually read it yourself. So we're going to try both of those. Alrighty, so here is the application itself, the Soundcore application. I actually couldn't screen record, and do the translation at the same time, so that's a bummer, but I'm going to have to do it this way. So I'm going to read a paragraph or a couple sentences off of this Resident Evil book to kind of get an idea of how accurate the translation is. Now it's going to be English to Spanish, and then we're going to try other languages also. So, bear that in mind with me. Here we go. They knew it wasn't over. In the aftermath of the ordeal, through the Umbrella Corporation's genetic research facility, the surviving members of the Special Tactics and Rescue attempt to warn the world about the conspiracy to create terrifying biological weapons. Okay.
Sabían que no había terminado. Tras la prueba sufrida, a través de las instalaciones de investigación genética de la Corporación Umbrella, los miembros supervivientes de las Fuerzas Especiales de Tácticas y Rescate intentan advertir al mundo sobre la conspiración para crear aterradoras armas biológicas.
Okay, so I was going to read what it says and make sure it picked up all my words. It says, they knew it wasn't over. In the aftermath of the ordeal through the Umbrella Corporation's genetic research facility. Interesting, because as I'm doing this, it's actually putting the correct grammar the same way it is on here. So that's interesting. The special surviving members of the Special Tactics and Rescue attempt to warn the world about the conspiracy to create terrifying biological weapons. Now, I didn't say stars because that's a Resident Evil thing, because I don't think it's going to actually put STARS and a dot between each letter. I don't think it actually knows that. Now, with that being said, I want to translate this same phrase into another language. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm not here doing that. Let me use Japanese. Yeah, I'm going to do it again. Calm down. It's letting me know that it's an error because I switched the language. So I'm going to read this over again. They knew it wasn't over. In the aftermath of the ordeal through the Umbrella Corporation's genetic research facility, the surviving members of the Special Tactics and Rescue Squad attempt to warn the world about the conspiracy to create terrifying biological weapons.
彼らはそれが終わりではなく、試練の余波が続いていることを知っていた。 アンブレラ社の遺伝子研究施設を通じて生き残った特殊戦術救助部隊のメンバーたちは恐ろしい生物兵器を作り出す陰謀について世界に警告しようと試みる。
Okay, so I'm just going to read it again to make sure that they got it. They knew it wasn't over. Did I say and the aftermath? I probably messed up when I said that. Oh, and the aftermath. I said and, so that's definitely my fault. And the aftermath of the ordeal through the Umbrella Corporation's genetic research facility, the surviving members of the Special Tactics and Rescue Squad attempt to warn the world about the conspiracy to create terrifying. Okay, so it seems pretty accurate right here, right? And again, I only speak English and Ebonics. I don't know any other language. I know you sort of learn French and Spanish in school. I had a friend at the time that did that. I did math and science, so it is what it is. But this is pretty decent for a tap to speech. Now, there is a real-time translation, which apparently what this does, it actually captures the conversations that you have between two people, so you can actually go back and forth and speak to one another. And again, unfortunately, I don't actually speak that language. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to attempt to put this back in Spanish and see if I can say some Spanish words horribly because I don't know how to speak it, and see if I can have a conversation with myself. So with that being said, let's hop over to the next part. So now we're going to do the real-time translation, which is pretty simple. All you have to do is tap this button right here. But before we begin, I want you to keep in mind that you're going to have the languages up top. So I have it English, and it's going to translate into Germany. So I'm sorry, Germany. That's what it says up here on the top. And that's how you would translate. Now, the main difference is that if I tap this, it's going to continue to translate every word that I say. So keep that in mind. It's different from just tap, where you say one thing and then it translates. You have to tap again. So here we go. There are times in life where I just want to get off of work and go to sleep. Did you know that One Piece is not the greatest anime in the world? To be completely honest with you, I would rather watch Berserk or read it than watch One Piece. Also, for the people out there that like Berserk but realize that the author takes forever to actually bring anything out, well, the author passed away, unfortunately, and they're carrying on his work. Try Vinland Saga or Kingdom. Those are also some pretty good. Now, keep in mind everything that I just said on this. Whenever you take a pause, it thinks it's a sentence, and then it'll stop translate. But while it was translating, it still picked up the next sentence that I said and put it down there. So again, don't tag me. I'm not a One Piece fan. But I will say that the translator seems to work very well. Whatever words that I say, it'll automatically translate. And I can actually hear the German being said to me in my ears as it was speaking. So it's not a bad translator. For the asking price, I think this is pretty good for the most part. I mean, what headphones do you really know that come with a translator that allow you to just walk into a different country or a different nation and be like, you know what, I need to be able to communicate with this person? That's actually a really neat feature. To be honest, if Soundcore does that to their Pro models, the Liberty 4 Pro and Eclipse and other ones, that will be a game changer if people are aware that they can do that. So in conclusion, I do think the translator actually works very, very well. You can understand the words that people are saying. It does pick up most phrases as long as you're speaking proper English or proper whatever language. It did pick up very well. When I tried it with Ebonics or I just played some rap lyrics, it didn't pick up a lot of the things, primarily because it couldn't understand what a lot of people were saying. So even mumble rap can't be translated unless a human does it. But outside of that, yeah, if you're working at a job and someone walks in and there's a language barrier, as long as you know what language they're speaking, you could translate what they're saying, or better yet, you can start off the conversation by translating from English or Spanish or whatever language you are to them. And I have to say it does a really good job. The people that I've showed this translator that are able to speak Spanish said that it was accurate. Now, what I will say is if you're speaking, I don't know if they call it Spanglish, so it's like an English and Spanish or like a different form of it where it's not the official language. That one, Ebonics doesn't work very well. Doesn't matter if you're speaking Japanese, Russian, whatever it is, if you're not speaking it properly, it's going to pick up some of the words from my understanding, but it's not going to translate it perfectly. So a person is still going to have to kind of figure out in between what words that you're talking about. But if you don't want to use Google Translate, if you don't want to use the Apple Translator, you happen to have these earbuds in, you don't want to use extra applications, this does work very well. And keep in mind that all the languages are in fact built into the application itself, rather than you having to manually download each one. And that could be a real pain in the ass, especially if you're in a situation where you're talking to someone. The person could be irate, they can need assistance, and you have to use sign language to be like, hold on and stuff, just to download certain languages and hope that you're speaking the right one. But this isn't bad. I like it. Now, again, price tag is $129 for these buds. They used to be $99. I'm assuming it's, I don't know, inflation, or, you know, if it is inflation, 9 times out of 10, the cost of paying those tariffs is pushed onto the customers. And that's one of the reasons why products end up costing more, because the clips also went up to $149 instead of $129. And I love these clips. So it is what it is. Hopefully they drop in price again. Anyway, like and subscribe like always. Hopefully this video helped you. What I will say is that there are other AI videos online where people that can do a better job of actually going outside in stores and speaking to people, and they, you know, consented to the conversations, and they translate in real time. But again, appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. So anyway, till then, take care. Peace.